For me, in that Teams, no, that recording is not happening. So that's why, I'm using Zoom till now. So once that thing's figured out, we can switch to Teams. Okay, because you guys will require the session recordings, no? In case you missed it or something, in case you missed the session, you would want to go through the recording, no? So if there is no recording in Teams, then there's no point. Can you see the screen?
Yes.
So, yeah. We have done till PF, no? Last time.
Yes.
We have not started gratuity. Yeah. So we have finished the seventh slide. Now we continue with Form 16, gratuity, and life insurance and health insurance market. Okay. So last time I mentioned to you that Form 16 is a form that is provided by the company, okay, which talks about your deductions and all that. Okay, what is your salary and what are the deductions and income tax deductions and all that. Okay, so I will just read out the definition to you. Form 16, the company issues a Form 16 which contains the details about the salary earned by the employee and the amount of tax deducted. So this is given by the company on a yearly basis. Okay, on a financial year basis. It's not calendar year, but financial year basis. So what does it include? It includes the salary and the tax that is deducted. Okay, the taxpayer is required to submit Form 16 to file the income tax returns. Now, who is the taxpayer? The employee. Each and every employee is a taxpayer. Okay, so when you're filing your income tax returns, you will have to submit your Form 16. Okay, and that happens every financial year. It acts as a proof of his or her income and the tax paid to the government. Okay, it is the proof that you are working somewhere, that you are getting a salary and you are paying the tax to the government every year. Okay, so this is Form 16. Okay, now what is gratuity? Gratuity is the part of the salary that is received by an employee from the employer of the services offered by the employee upon him on or her leaving the job. Okay, so I'll just explain it to you. Gratuity is a component in your salary, okay, which is paid by the employer only. So employee does not have to contribute anything towards gratuity. Okay, so it is an addition. It is not a deduction from your salary, but it is an addition which is given by the company, and you will be eligible for this amount only if you work in the same company for more than 5 years. Okay, so you will be eligible only if you work for 5 continuous years in the same company. So when you're leaving the company, then you can apply for gratuity, and that will come to your account directly. So this is again a statutory compliance for every company, okay, whose employee strength is more than 20. Okay. Though an employee can receive the gratuity amount only after 5 years, it will be deducted by the employer every year, and hence it will be deducted from your CTC. That means it is a deduction from the CTC, but it is not deducted from your net in hand. It is the cost to the company only. CTC is what? It is the cost to the company. So it is a contribution from the company. So you don't have to actually pay anything. The company is contributing. Okay, so it is a part of your CTC. Understood? Gratuity. There's a formula, a long formula to gratuity, which you'll have to mark it up. Okay, it'll come in the later slides. So what is life insurance and health insurance? Now you would have heard like every company is providing the insurance facility, right? All big companies provide insurance facilities. Now this is not a statutory compliance like gratuity and PF and all that. This is just an added advantage, or it's a benefit given by any company. Okay, this is like, why should any employee or any talent in the market choose our company? Because we give medical insurance facility. Okay, something like that. So many companies provide health insurance and life insurance to their employees, the premium for which is borne by the employer. You understand premium, right? Premium is the amount that you need to contribute to the insurance company every month, right? For in keeping you insured, like the life insurance policy or the medical insurance policy. So that premium is borne by the employer and is included in the CTC. So again, this is a cost to the company, so the company only pays it. Okay, hence it has to be deducted while calculating your take-home salary. Okay, so from your CTC, what all is deducted? Your employer provident fund is deducted, your gratuity is deducted, and your medical insurance is deducted. Then after that, after all these deductions, we come to the gross salary. Okay, now from gross salary, what will be deducted? Income tax will be deducted, and your EPF, which is employee provident fund. So if your contribution or the employee's contribution will be deducted from gross. Income tax and employee contribution towards the provident fund will be deducted. After all the deductions, you will come to the net take-home salary. Okay, so any other tax like professional tax and all also will be deducted from your gross salary. Okay. Okay, income tax. Income tax is the tax levied on personal income. It's called income tax. Usually an employee gets his or her salary after tax deduction by the employer. This process is called tax deduction at source, that is TDS. So you will come across this word TDS very often once you start working with companies. Okay, so that is tax deducted at source, which means the tax after, before you get your net take-home salary, which is your salary in hand, okay, the tax will be deducted by the employer. So that is tax deduction at source. Source means from where you're getting the salary. Okay, the deducted tax amount is to be paid, is paid to the government by the company. So whatever tax they deduct, they will pay it to the government. Okay, now what is professional tax? Professional tax is the tax charged by the government in order to let an individual practice a certain profession. Okay, so this is the tax that we need to pay to the government because they're allowing us to practice a certain profession. So that is called professional tax. That is also a part of our gross income. Okay, the maximum amount payable per year is 2,500. It depends on one's monthly salary and also on the state in which one works. Okay, so professional tax is dependent on a person's salary and also in the state. In different states, professional tax varies. The professional tax levied varies from state to state in India. Professional tax is not applicable in the following states and union territories. So in states like Arunachal Pradesh, Andaman and Nicobar, Chandigarh, Dadra and Nagar Haveli, and Goa, Haryana, Himachal Pradesh, Jammu and Kashmir. So all these places, they don't have to pay professional tax. But places like West Bengal, Karnataka, we pay all tax. Okay. So professional tax also needs to be paid by us. Okay, maximum. Sometimes company they take it every month, or sometimes they deduct once a year 2,500 directly from the city. Okay. Now, how to calculate your take-home salary? In order to calculate take-home salary, subtract the income tax, provident fund, and professional tax from the gross salary. So, like I told you, from CTC, what is deducted? Employers' provident fund, gratuity, and medical insurance, and everything. Those things are deducted. Okay, whatever the company is contributing, that will be deducted from CTC, which will give you your gross. Now, from gross, what is deducted? Your employees, provident fund, your income tax, and professional tax. That will give you your net take-home salary. Okay, see here. Right. Now, calculate taxable income. This is not required for us. Okay, generally, how to calculate taxable income and all. This is for your extra knowledge. If you want, you can go through. But as an HR, we generally don't get into all this until and unless you are into the particular domain where you are dealing with the taxation and payrolling and all that. Okay, payrolling necessary is this much. How many days you are present, and what is the salary, how to calculate basic, what is the formula for gratuity. So this knowledge we have to have as an HR. Even if you are not in the payroll department, still employees, when you're doing the recruitment or any other thing, employees will come to you with questions and you have to know how it is calculated. Otherwise, we will lose our credibility as HRs. Okay, so this much knowledge till wherever I have told you that is necessary, but how to calculate taxable income, it is for your own benefit. So later on, you can go through all these things. Okay. So all this, calculating income tax and all this is not required. Okay, I have included so that you have extra knowledge, you can go through it. Okay, but I will tell you what is HRA. Okay, HRA is house rental allowance, as I told you. HRA received is not fully exempted from tax. HRA that you can claim is the lowest of the following. So for HRA also can be for your tax, for saving your tax. Okay, but it is not the entire amount. No, it is not. You cannot go do without the thing. So for certain percentage, it will be taxable. HRA. Suppose if you are paying 5,000 as your rent, then total 5,000 will not be exempted. Certain percentage will be included as for tax exemption. Okay. So these are just for your knowledge. Tax slab and all. See here. So in India, the income tax is based on the amount of salary that you're earning in a year. Okay, so it is the CTC for CTC, annual CTC that we talk about. So depending on that, the percentage of tax will be calculated. So income tax slab tax rate up to 2.5 lakhs. Okay, if CTC for someone is less than 2.5 lakhs per annum, then there is no tax to be income tax to be paid. Okay, but if somebody's salary is above 2.5 lakhs to 5 lakhs, then it is 5% of the salary. If it's 5 lakhs to 7.5 lakhs, then it's 10%, like that. So there is a slab. So for everyone, the same amount of tax will not be deducted. Okay, so this is the revised percentage or the revised tax slab. Okay. Now here we come to the salary structure. But the one that I sent you in WhatsApp, no, that is easier to understand. Okay. We will go back to what I sent you. Just give me a minute. Okay. Before we get into the salary structure, I just want to brief you through the gratuity thing, the formula that I told you about. Okay, see, when and how much gratuity do you get paid? So employees will come to you, will come to the HR department with questions like these. Okay, these are the some common queries that you will face when you are in the HR department. Okay, so they will come and ask you when and how much gratuity do we get paid? So, for your knowledge, in India, the basic requirements of gratuity are set out under the Payment of Gratuity Act 1971. As I was telling you, it is a statutory compliance. Okay, so we have to pay gratuity to the employees. So, under this act, gratuity will be paid. Note, to fall under the act and qualify for gratuity, an employee needs to have at least 5 full years of service with the current employer. Okay, so what does 5 full years mean? It means continuous service. That means sometimes you might see employees, they work for 2 years, they would want to take a break of 1 year or so, or maybe 6 months because of education or family problems or whatever, and then they will come back and join the same company, right? But their employment with this particular company has it is not continuous. That means employment has been broken in between, right? There's a breach in their employment. So the term that we use, this the terminology that we use for such a break in employment is breach in their employment. Okay, so if there is a gap of 6 months or 1 year or whatever, okay, if a company will allow a maximum of 30 days of earned leave, or maybe if some companies also give leave without pay. Okay, they give 30 days of leave without pay. But if somebody is absent for more than 2 months, 3 months, then what do they do? The company will tell them you need to leave the company, or they will let the employees go. So that time, okay, if there's a break of more than 3 months, then there will be a breach in their employment. Therefore, gratuity, even if they come back to the same company, gratuity will not be paid to such employees. So their day of employment will start from the second, from wherever they continued their work, okay, the second phase of their work. So from that day onwards, their employment date will start again. Okay, so therefore, the days that they were already present in the company before will not be counted. Okay, so that is why it is saying out here that they need to have 5 full years of service, okay, with the current employer, except in the event that an employee passes away or is rendered disabled due to accident or illness. Due to accident or illness, if the person is allowed to work from home or something like that, then gratuity will be paid. Or if the person passes away also, then gratuity will be paid from the employer's side. Okay, gratuity, the formula is basic monthly salary plus DA. DA is the dearness allowance. Okay, so basic monthly salary plus DA into 15 days, okay, into number of years of service divided by 26. Okay, this is the formula. So why 26? 26 is because in a month, we consider 30 days to comprise of 1 full month, right? So in 1 full month, 4 days is what? Is generally an off for every employee, right? We consider Sundays, maybe we consider Sundays, or it could be any day for an employee depending on the profile. So 4 days is an off, so 26 days of full working days, that is why divided by 26. Okay, So basic monthly salary plus DA into 15 into number of years of service. So it is calculated on the basic salary. Okay. So DA is there only for government organizations. So for corporates, private organizations, it's just going to be basic. Okay. Your basic monthly salary is the last month's basic pay at the time of leaving. So what does this mean? Last month's basic pay at the time of leaving. Suppose I have joined an organization at a much lower level, that is an executive level, and while I'm leaving the service after 7-8 years, I leave as an assistant manager or a manager. My salary would have also changed, right, across the years. So my salary obviously has increased, and so has my basic amount, right? So my gratuity will be calculated on the basis of my last basic salary, not on the basis of the salary that on which I was hired. Okay. So suppose my starting basic salary was 1500, just an example. When I'm leaving, my basic salary is 15,000, then my gratuity will be calculated on 15,000 and not 1500. Yeah. Now, another question that people will come to you with is how to see my PF balance. Now, you'll have to remember that PF will not remain with the employer. Okay, PF, gratuity, everything, this is with the government, state government. Okay, so now the state government, they have a website. Okay, so people, if they want to know about their PF balance, because every month they are contributing, so they would want to know, मेरा कितना PF accumulate हुआ अभी तक? They will come with such questions. Okay, where is my PF amount going? Every month you guys are deducting, but where is it going? How do I know how much have I contributed? Right? They will come and ask you. So it is not with the company, it is with the government. Okay, so you'll have to tell them, you'll have to log in to your so for different states there are different websites. We can Google also to check the PF balance, and there is something in the payslip that we will give to the employees. They will have a UAN number, which is a registration number, okay, to every employee. So every employee will have a different UAN number. So you will have to take that and log into the website and check the balance. Okay, there will be a double amount. So if I'm paying 1200, it will show 1200 plus 1200. So employer and employee both contribute. Okay, so you can say that. Yeah. So there's something called a PF slip also that that is being sent to the companies once in a while. Some people ask for that, some people they don't bother. Okay, but generally the government sends in the PF slip. So there will be in every location, like in Siliguri also there is PF office. In Darjeeling also, if you have noticed, there is a PF office, right? So every place there will be PF office. The local PF office will keep sending this PF slip. It will be a long slip. Okay, they'll keep sending for every employee who's registered in the PF office. So that slip you can give it to the employees for their information. It's like a pay slip, like how we get pay slip after the salary, no? So for them, it is a PF slip which talks about their balance and how much has been contributed. Okay. So financial year. So in income tax also there are two cycles. Okay, one is the financial year and one is the assessment year. So this is an extra knowledge. I don't know. You guys must already know. I'm not too sure. Are you aware of the assessment year and financial year? Have you heard of it? There are two concepts. Yeah. So when tax is deducted, when you're filing your income tax, they will ask you for the assessment year and financial year statements. Right. So there are two concepts. So let me just tell you what these things are. A financial year is a year as reckoned for taxing and accounting purposes. So it is considered for taxing and accounting purpose. It commences from 1st April of a year and ends on March 31st of the following year. 1st April of this year to March 31st of next year, right? Following year. So that is a financial year. Okay. In case of filing IT returns, financial year is the previous year. It is the year in which one has entered the income. I'm sorry, earned the income. Okay. Hence, if you are filing a return this year, this is 2018, suppose the financial year will be 2017 and 18. Okay. And what is assessment year? Assessment year, on the other hand, is the year in which you file your returns. So I'm filing my returns in 2018. Financial year is 2017 and 18. So my assessment year will be 2018. Okay, the year in which I am filing the return. It is the year in which the income tax that you have earned in the financial year will be evaluated. For example, if you have earned your income between 1st April 2016 and 31st March 2017, then 2017-18 will be the assessment year. So 1 year after the financial. Okay. This is an example given. The income year, you are earning the income, financial year will be the same, assessment year will be 1 year after that. Okay. Fine. So we are done with understanding the salary structure. Now we will do the calculation part. Can you see the screen? See, this is what I had sent you, right? Okay. Now, this is how a salary structure for any employee will look like in an appointment letter. Okay. We've understood that basic is a component of the CTC, cost to the company, right? We've understood that DA is also cost to the company, HR and all. So how do we actually come to the amount to these particular components? So how do we allocate the amount? It is not arbitrary. It is based on certain calculations and specifications. So it has to be specific. It cannot vary. Okay. So for any employee whose salary is, suppose they have a salary slab of around 12 lakhs per annum, okay, then we will have to calculate their monthly salary. Okay, so for 12 lakhs, it will be 1 lakh per month, right, divided by 12. So 1 lakh will be the monthly CTC. Now, how do you calculate the basic? It will be 40 to 50% of the CTC. So for 1 lakh rupees, what will be the basic? Just calculate. So for 1 lakh rupees, 40 to 50% will be
40,000.
40,000. So 40% will be 40,000 and 50% will be 50,000. Okay. Depending on the company, they will either give 40% or 50%. So generally companies want to keep basic as low as possible. So if it is 40%, they'll give 40% only. Nobody wants to put 50%. Why? Because all calculations are based on the basic component, right? 1 minute. Can you see me?
We can't see you. Yeah, we can now.
Yeah, so most of the companies, they like to keep it as low as possible because all calculations, that is the PF contribution, gratuity, HRA, everything is dependent on the basic amount. Okay, so the basic is calculated 40 to 50% of CTC. Got it? Then DA is calculated 5% of CTC. Okay, DA is 5% of CTC, HRA is 50% of basic plus DA if metro. Okay, there are certain cities which are categorized as metro and others are non-metro. Right? Like Bangalore, Chennai, Kolkata. So you all know the metro cities, right? So for them, the HRA will be 50% of basic plus DA. And if it's non-metro, then 40% of the basic will be the HRA. Okay, and conveyance, it is 1600 per month, which is fixed. Okay, so it is either 800 or 1600. So there is no calculation as such for conveyance. Okay, either companies pay 800 or 1600, but this does not vary. So this also is a fixed component. And medical is also fixed, which is 1250 rupees a month. Okay, these components will remain fixed. If somebody decides I want to give, so 1600 is generally for people who's depending on the profile. If they travel a lot, then it's 1600. If the salary is high, then it is 1600. So these are actually these all depend on the salary of an employee and the profile of an employee. Okay, but 1250 rupees is fixed. It's a medical allowance.
So all the company has to give this.
Yes. It's an allowance. Okay, and LTA again, as I told you, it depends on the salary. Okay, and but if not, can set a 10% of it. So if all companies, they give it on their own choice. The LTA is there has no particular formula as such, but most of them, they give it as 10% of basic salary. Okay, it's not necessary that they follow, but 10% of basic is most of the companies that they follow. And ESIC, so for people whose salary is less than 15,000 per month, that is gross. Okay, not CTC, not net take home, whose gross salary is less than 6.5%. I'm sorry, 15,000. Okay, the ESIC will be given to them. Okay, which is Employee State Insurance Corporation. So it is a government medical insurance facility. Okay, so people whose gross salary is less than 15,000, they will fall under this category and they will not get the medical insurance facility. So for people whose salary is above 15,000, the company may, okay, it's not necessary, they may want to give a medical insurance. However, the company has to pay ESIC, okay, for people who come under the lower salary bracket. That's a government norm. Okay. And there is another allowance, which is a special allowance. Okay, special allowance is nothing but generally to balance the salary. So if I'm thinking I'm going to offer a gross salary of 20,000 per month to an employee, then after all my calculation, if there is some gap, okay, so after all the calculation, they say no hisab na mile ko bachane. So something like that. So if there is a difference amount of like 5,000 or something, you put it under special allowance. Okay, so it is a balancing component, but there's no such special allowance as such that is given by the company. Okay, now Provident Fund. Provident Fund, you know the formula, it is 12% of basic. So all these things above, no, till here make the net take home salary till special allowance. Okay, then from here, all these things, Provident Fund 12% of basic plus DA, And provident fund 12%. So these are employer and employee professional tax, labor welfare fund. These are minimum. Okay. So professional tax, again, it is state-wise component. Okay, and labor welfare fund is also state-wise. So this is the generally minimum 100, 150, like that. Okay, this is also minimum. So in a year, around 1250 rupees is paid for professional tax, between 1250 to 2500. So this can be deducted every month or once a year also. Okay, these are the basic components in a salary structure. Okay, now. Okay, so what you can do is, when I'm giving you an assignment, okay, today I will give you an assignment on salary structure. So don't follow the formula here. In terms of formula, I want you to refer to the earlier image that we just saw before this. Okay, but I want you to follow this structure while making the salary structure. Understood? You do not check on the formula for this, but you use this structure. Can you see the cursor moving? Yeah. So use this first, the left side, this portion you use as a structure to make your salary structure. Okay. This is the skeleton. You use this as a skeleton to make the salary structure. But the formula, you will be using the earlier image. Understood? So we will move on to another slide in salary only.